Okay, hello everybody. This is Brent again with Sales Rep 101. And the last video I just did was about why sales and broke down kind of why sales is a good career and what it can do for you. I think a bigger question is, especially for someone that's relatively new, is sales a good fit? And how do we know that? It's a really hard thing to figure out. But many of us, I know this was for me when I first got into sales, things were way different. We're talking in the 90s. There was no internet. There wasn't a lot of material to figure out. You just kind of had to wing it and ask questions, and you were looking for a job. But you just don't know what to expect when you first get into sales. So that's a big reason why I created this site, so people can learn, kind of understand what sales is about before they choose that as a career. But there's many different types of sales too, and that just because one may not be a good fit for you doesn't mean another type of sales isn't a good fit. For instance, there's inside sales. So maybe you're working at Best Buy, you're working in an electronic shop, there's lots of different places where you're actually inside a store, people are coming to visit you, right? They're coming to buy something, and then you're selling them on your products, right? That's called inside sales. You can still make a great living, but you still need to be able to have some of the qualities of sales, right? You still need to have that personality, not afraid to visit with people and talk with people. There's still a lot to it, but inside sales takes away that fear of you having to go find your customers, right? Then there's outside sales. Outside sales, there's lots of different ways. When I first got into sales, I had a cell phone company in the very beginning, and I got into selling cell phones in the very beginning. And then I got into Yellow Pages and advertising sales and did that for the majority of my early career. But outside sales is a different animal altogether. You are out and about during the day. You're in the office in the morning. You kind of make your game plan, and then you're out and about the majority of the day, and then you're kind of back in the office at the end of the day. But in outside sales, you are going to be responsible for gaining customers, getting new customers, out and about speaking, walking into a business, cold calling. Cold calling is a huge thing for outside sales. The benefits and the rewards are amazing. You can make a great living in outside sales, but you have to be willing to do the work, put in the work, understand what you're doing, not be afraid, not be an introvert. If you're an introverted person, it's going to be very hard for you to do sales, any type of sales. Inside sales might be a little easier because customers are coming to you. Outside sales would be very difficult for you. You have to be outgoing. You have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be self-disciplined because you're going to be responsible for your own accounts. You're going to have accounts your company's accounts that you're working, plus generating new business. It's a different animal, but if you're willing to put in the work and be consistent, you'll be able to make a great living at it. And then kind of my favorite probably is in-home sales. Now this is a little different because in-home sales is a different animal too. You're going into people's homes, which is awkward to begin with. So you have to have the kind of personality where you can relate to a lot of different people. You have to kind of read the room. You have to not be aggressive because you're in people's home. You need to be able to help them understand you're there to help them and be a consultant without being a completely creep because people get freaked out really easily. And if they're freaked out when you're in their home, even in the very beginning stages, they're not going to buy from you. It's just a fact. I've been doing this a long time. That is a very hard thing to overcome. So you need to go in gradually and kind of figure out your roadmap on the fly in each home. So those are kind of the different types of sales. Like I said before, being an introvert is in sales. You really need to be not necessarily a crazy extrovert where you're out being crazy and a crazy loud. You don't need to do that. What I mean by not being an introvert is if you don't really like to talk to people and you're more comfortable in an office setting where you're just kind of doing your work, that's probably the best fit for you because everybody's personality had a phone call come up, that's great. Everybody's personality is a little different. So if your personality is you enjoy talking with people and being out and about, sales is a great fit for you. So the best thing for you, especially if you're deciding what to do, take those 3 types that we just talked about: inside sales, outside sales, kind of in-home sales. Sit down, do some pros and cons on what you think might be a best fit. And sometimes maybe inside sales is a great way to start, right? Because you're not quite sure what to expect. And so it may not be what you want to make a career out of, but maybe inside sales might be a great start. Then you can kind of learn exactly kind of what direction you want to go to, find out the best type of sales that's going to be for you, and go from there. So good luck in your pursuit, and I wish you all the luck in selling.